Good afternoon. It's hot out. I've tried multiple times to film what's done on the inside of the house, but it's usually at the end of the day after I'm hot and tired and I have to cook dinner, and then after we eat dinner it's like 7:30, quarter to 8, and without having lights on inside to show all the areas, it didn't come out well. So I decided today, because it's up to, I think, 101 right now. No, I was wrong. It's 102. And crawling up around in the trusses at this temperature is not a good thing. So I decided to call it to work early. Gonna make dinner early, gonna eat early, and then hopefully I can station some lights to where I have to do some work later on this evening when it's a lot cooler. Speaking of the trusses, yes, I did in fact say on one of the videos that I fell out of the trusses. Why, you might ask? Well, take your pick. It was, I had bought a new set of angel wings. They were used. They didn't work very well. Or B, it was something on my bucket list. You know, like going to Graceland during Elvis Week, which is exactly what I did this year. Or I have no idea what happened. 1 minute I'm in the trusses, 10 minutes later I'm on the ground, and like 10 minutes have gone by. So apparently I did something that wasn't 100% correct and landed on the ground. Also broke my phone, my brand new phone. That because I've never broken a phone since I had a cell phone. When I was on the police department back in '92, I never bothered to get the insurance on this one. Not the brightest move I've ever made. But did get a new screen, so the phone's working now. Since we're out here on the back deck, I think what I will do is kind of pan around and show you the back deck, and then we'll go in through these French doors off to my right, and we'll get the grand tour of the house. So, gonna take another drink, and then we'll be on our way. It's going to jiggle around a little bit while I adjust things, but I'm not going to bother taking it off the tripod because I'm too hot and lazy right now. Okay, these are the French doors that lead into the great room, which is going to have the dining room, kitchen, and family room. That door there leads into the laundry room. And this is the back deck. Okay, that blue box you can see down there is for light. This silver one is for the ceiling fan. And then this blue one here is for another light. There'll also be a light next to that door and next to these doors, depending on how much light I want on at a given time. This deck, by the way, is 10 foot tall. It is 30 foot long and 11 foot wide. When we're all done, it'll get screened in. That's probably a project for after we move in, because I really want to get into this house. So, without further explanation, let's go through the doors. This wall here is going to have like a credenza. It's the same cabinets that the rest of the cabinets are. I needed something to fill this space, and that happened to catch my eye, so I got it. That wall all the way down there, not the one in the far back where the white is, but the one where you can see the top of, is the other end of the kitchen. From that triple studs right there over, no, I'm on the wrong one. Yeah, there they are right there. Triple studs right there. Over to this wall here is all going to be upper and lower cabinets with the refrigerator. This wall here, from the edge of this doorway down to the edge of that pocket door, is also going to have upper and lower cabinets, and that's where the stove is going to go. This wall here is, at this point, 43 inches high. It's going to have a wooden bar top so that people will be able to sit on the backside here and eat and converse with who's ever messing around in the kitchen. The front of this is going to have stock size cabinets and a farm sink, dishwasher, garbage disposal, trash compactor, all that fun stuff. This is not going to have upper cabinets because upper at this point is way up there. Would not look good with a cathedral ceiling. From this point, where this wall is, back to that white wall, is the dining room. It's about, if I remember correctly, 18 feet. And it can go as wide as I want it to, because right next to it, along that wall there, where the double piece of foam is, over to that doorway by the ladder, is the family room. So if I want to make the family room wider and the dining room narrower, I can do that very easily. That wall that I just zoomed in on, at the top of that peak for the ceiling, which is right there, is going to have a fake fireplace. It will have a real ventless gas fireplace box in it. But because this house is so tight, once it all gets done, that I'm not comfortable lighting a gas fireplace in something this tight. So I have got a kit that goes in the fireplace that's electric. So the fireplace will turn on and off with a switch, but it'll look really neat. Okay. Over there, and we'll see it more later, is the big brown thing is the front door. This wall here is 10 foot tall from that wall all the way around to by the door. Originally, it was going to be 4 foot and opened, but I did not like how unsteady it was. So what I chose to do is raise it up to 10 feet, which is the height of the walls themselves. And we're going to put in that angular section there, we're going to put some French doors. Eventually, that room will have a Murphy bed. And this way, when we have company and they want to spend the night, they have some privacy. even though the top is open, I don't know anybody that's over 10 foot tall that's going to be looking down on them, so they're still going to have privacy. That silver box right there is going to have a ceiling fan, which is going to put some nice airflow through the living room, which is what that room is technically going to be called. Although I think on the plans they said it was a parlor. What the difference is, I haven't the foggiest idea. And quite frankly, I don't care. So, now we'll go into this pocket door. You're going to see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, a total of 5 pocket doors. The reason being is there's no swing to them, so none of it is dead space. If I had a regular doorway right here, it would either have to swing over this way and I'd lose counter, or it would have to swing over this way and I'd lose a bunch of counter. So I chose a pocket door because 99% of the time it's going to be open and no one's going to see it. If we do want to close it off, we have that ability. Going through the door, there's the other side of the door that I showed you on the back porch. Along the pocket door wall is the washer and dryer with cabinets above. And then from about where those switches are over as close as I can get to the washer and dryer and still use them is going to be a pantry cabinet. And it's going to be 10 foot tall. I think that's going to give us enough storage with all the other cabinets we're going to have. On this wall here, we're going to have a mud bench with cubbies on the top and cabinets above them. Those 4 switch boxes that you see are going to be dual electric plug and USB ports, so that we can charge phones or whatever. This room, well, that ladder goes up to the attic for long-term storage, as well as where the air conditioning, heat pump, and the air handler is going to go. So all that's going to be inside the house. I don't know whether I've mentioned it in the past, but now seems like as good a time as any. The reason that you see all this white stuff, that is closed cell blocks of foam. On the outer walls of the whole house is going to be another 2 inches of closed cell foam. This is going to give the walls an R42, I think. That wall up there that you don't see nothing on right now is going to also get insulated, and the roof deck gets insulated. The reason the roof deck gets insulated and not the ceiling is that A, we have the ability, I hope this works, we have the ability to cool and heat that space. Not going to cost any extra money. Actually, in the long run, it's going to save money because the AC unit and the heater are in conditioned space. Therefore, they're not working as hard. The difference in temperature between the attic area, the main floor, and the crawl space, which is also going to be conditioned space, is going to be like 4 degrees. So if the attic is at 74. The living space is going to be right around 71, and then the crawl space will be about 70. And all that air will keep circulating. It takes out a lot of dust because you're not sucking in air from the outside, and it keeps with a tight envelope. Therefore, there's no air or water penetration, and it's some of the latest technology on the market. At least it was when I started this process, and I can see the concept. I think it's going to work just like they say it's going to work. I'm on a couple of owner-builder websites, and everybody that has done that raves about it. So we'll see. Just beyond these attic stairs is a little powder room. If I can get over here. Along back in that corner, between the two chairs, 1, 2, is going to be where the commode goes. Center is going to be the sink, and initially there's going to be a movable linen closet along this wall. I say movable because at some point in the future we are going to put a tub in here. Not your standard tub, but I think it'll fit very well in the theme of this whole house. This doorway here, I have to leave open while the county's involved with inspections. Because if I close it, as well as putting that tub in there, with the door on this room here, it becomes a bedroom, whether we're going to use it for an office or not. If it becomes a bedroom, then that increases the size of the septic and the leach lines, and with the tub in there, it increases it even more, to the point where it almost doubles. And I couldn't see spending that kind of money. Especially since all the gray water is going to its own gray water leach field, which is allowed out here in Arizona. And the only black water is going to be from the commodes, the kitchen sink, and the dishwasher. That's it. So it's not going to fill up all that fast. I'm going to step up here for a second so you can get a better idea of the depth of this room. It is 13 by 12, all the way over to here, which is a good size office / bedroom. We're probably going to make this Amanda's room because she has 3 dogs, and these are inside the house dogs 99% of the time. They sleep inside, they don't sleep outside, so she needed the extra space. I don't have a problem with it. This little contraption here is called a plumbing manifold. If you can see, this side here, for all except for the bottom 3, are red. The bottom 3 and this side on over here are blue. Blue is for cold water, red is for hot water. Each line to a different fixture is going to have its own line. So once I hook it up to here, and then we go through the hole here, go down, and underneath the floor, and let's say we're going all the way over to the master bath, the first sink in the master bathroom. It goes all the way over on a single piece of PEX pipe, turns back up through the floor, and terminates at a normal shutoff valve. So between this manifold and that bathroom sink, there's no chance of getting leaks. And to me, that is a major plus. The crawl space down at the far end of the house is like almost 6 foot. The crawl space up here is like 2.5 foot. I don't want to be going in and out of that crawl space trying to track down a leak. This way I don't have to do that. That was another sticking point with the county when I was getting my permit, because they hadn't had that up here before, as well as not having these blocks of foam. That's why it took 2 years, 10 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days to get a building permit. Here is the triple garage. Goes all the way over to there, all the way over to there. Okay? These big bags of foams are actually, each one contains 8 22.5-inch pieces of 6 5/8 foam, because it's closed cell that puts it about R46. There is another 8-pack over there, and I don't know whether you're going to be able to see it way over there, but there's 2, possibly 3 over there. This smaller foam that you can easily see that it's much thinner, that all goes on the outside. And there's a bunch of that. There's this whole column here, and then 2 more. This gray covered area is 3 different stacks of drywall. This is a stack of drywall. Over there, as I walk back through, I'll show you that stack of drywall, because we got a lot of walls in this house. Where the light is coming in is the man door, which I forgot to close last night. But, oh well. Next to the man door is going to be the electric panel. Next to that is a tankless water heater. For anybody that has an electric water heater, you know how high those bills can get. Anybody with a regular gas water heater, you know how high those can get. With a tankless water heater, according to the companies that I spoke to that deliver propane around here, for this size house, not going to cost me $200 a year. Total. Probably they're thinking closer to 100, but just to give me an outside, it's going to be less than 200. So you figure $10 a month would be $120 a year. I can live with that. All that up there, all those blank spots there, and that blank spot there, the foam's already cut for those pieces. But that all is going to get filled in with foam too. Again, the roof deck is going to get the foam. That little opening there is going to get closed off, and then it makes, this won't be actual conditioned space, because we're not going to have a heater or air conditioning in here, but because we're not letting all that heat into the attic, it's not going to filter down to the working area. Those 3 garage doors that we have, are all, I've got the foam set aside for those. So they all get foam too. So most of the doors that you buy on the market pre-foamed are like R10. That was the best I could find when I went looking. By putting almost 3 inches of foam, it's going to be R21 or close to it. That makes a big difference. I forgot to mention this just when we were talking. On top of that OSB roof deck is ice and water shield. It doesn't just cover the ends like they do back east, it covers the whole roof. So no air or water can get in onto the roof deck. By putting the insulation up there in the ceiling under the roof deck, that heat that comes down from the sun has no way to get into the house. If we put it down on the drywall, then that space between the drywall and the roof deck will heat up in the summer. And from experience, it can get over 140 degrees in that attic. By eliminating that 140 degrees and making it 74 degrees, it keeps the living area cooler, and therefore the AC doesn't have to work as hard. If we put the AC unit in the attic at 140 degrees, that thing would be running like crazy all summer long. Sorry about that, the camera shut off again. I don't know what's going on with this thing. But once I open it to look out, it's not going to let the cold and or heat in here. I don't know whether I mentioned, but the back deck is going to be screened. This is the front deck. It's also going to have a ceiling fan and a light there. We're probably going to put a light kit on the ceiling fan just for kicks and giggles. This is the medium-sized deck. It is 10 foot wide and 24 foot long. And those are the front stairs. Of course, obviously, this is all going to get railing and all that other fancy stuff. And it's going to eventually get screened in. This is a better look at that front door. Everybody that sees it in person says that the camera doesn't do justice to it. But we'll see. When all of you come out and visit, you'll be able to judge for yourself. This little hallway here is going to have its own light. Along that wall is going to be a whole tree. We bought it from some kids that were selling out their grandparents' stuff, so we made a smoke-in deal on it. This doorway here that leads to the bedroom is going to have a barn door that's going to open over towards the whole tree. I can't buy the standard barn door kits that you get at Home Depot or Lowe's or any of those other places because they're for a 36-inch wide hallway. This is a 40-inch hallway. Why is it a 40-inch hallway, you ask? Because I'm going to live here until they cart my butt out in a body bag. And with the way my back and neck are going, it's very much conceivable that at some point I'm going to be in a wheelchair. So I didn't want to have to fight with anything. Hence the larger doorways. This is Chris's room. It is 12, I believe it's 12 by 11.9. Good size room. That, well, the lights are already playing havoc, but that pocket doorway there leads to his closet. So it's a good sized walk-in closet. I think, if I remember correctly, they're 6 by 5. The closet on the other wall over there is for Emily's room on the other side, and it's the same size. This is the hallway bathroom. Over along this wall is going to be a clawfoot tub. In the middle is going to be the vanity. And over here is going to be eventually a pull chain commode. All the commodes will be eventually pull chains. Again, I may not have mentioned it, but the style of this house, it's going to have logs on the outside, it's going to have logs on the exterior walls on the inside, and that's going to make those walls 10 inches thick, which in itself is going to increase the R value. Once you get inside, it's got the wood look tile floors. The cabinets are natural hickory, and the countertop is going to be soapstone, which with the pull chain toilets, the clawfoot tub, and the unique vanities that we're going to have. It's hopefully with the rock fireplace, and the vent hood for the stove is also going to have rock going up to the ceiling. Because back in the 1890s, which this house is kind of hopefully going to look a lot like, they didn't cook in the kitchen in the summer. They cooked in there in the winter because they could absorb that heat. They had outside what was called a summer kitchen. And we will be building one of those, but instead of having regular kitchen appliances out there, that's where the smoker and the grills and all that fancy stuff go. So I think if it looks a third as good as it does in my head, it's going to look nice. This little room here, from where the pocket door frame is, all the way over to this outer frame, from that wall to that wall, is the master closet. I'm going to say 9 by 8. Maybe a tad bit bigger. I don't know. But whatever. Again, the pocket door, because there's no swing. This is Emily's room, and it is also going to double as a guest room if we have a large amount of company that are spending time here. This way, they will have a place to sleep, and Emily can use the couch in the family room. That's her closet there. Again, same size as Chris's. This is the natural wood hickory. So right now, initially, the credenza and all the kitchen cabinets are going to look like that. When we're finished with all the cabinets in the laundry room and the pantry, they're all going to look like that. And most of the sinks or most of the vanities are going to look like that. May not be to move in, but it is going to get there. Because, like I said before, I want in this house, and I want to do it before it gets cold. Oh, Emily's room is 12, 17. Emily's room is 14 by 12. Good size room. Because of one of the county regulations, we had to have the closets where they're at. That's why her room's bigger than Chris's. And she's a girl, so we all know how that plays out. This is the master. It is 16 by 13, I believe. Good sized master. It's got a window there, a window there. A bunch of people have said, why are the windows so far apart? That's because my bedroom set fits perfectly in that space. That's why it's they're that far apart. This is another pocket door leading to the master bath. Way down at the end, where you can see the studs for the wall, is going to be a 4-foot by 6-foot walk-in shower. Up a foot or so, I think 18 inches from the edge of the shower, is the pull chain toilet. And then along here is an 81-inch vanity with 2 sinks. And over here is a custom-made 2x2 linen closet. I don't know if any of you folks remember the house that Joan and I lived on 15th Avenue, the second one. That was basically this floor plan. Joan and I had talked about a number of changes, and I incorporated every single one of them into this house. This deck here is a 12 by 12 privacy deck. You will notice there's no stairs. There's not going to be stairs. So the only way you can get to my deck is through my room. And then, of course, that's the view. Beautiful. It gets so quiet out here at night. It is unbelievable. I used to tell people that you could hear a gnat fart 2 miles away, and you will be surprised at the number of people that said, I didn't know gnats farted. Oh well. But anyhow, that's what the house looks like. I hope that you enjoyed the tour. Let's see if I can get this up to face me. And I hope I answered any questions. If you have any more questions or comments, like, Dennis, what the hell are you doing up in the trusses? Just put them in the comments below the videos. I'll understand. Other than that, you have a wonderful day, a safe Labor Day weekend. Stay safe with this pandemic going on, and hopefully the next series of videos is not going to be as long. The reason being is that there was so much that I had to show you about the phone. I figured we'd do it all at once and just place the 3 videos one after another. Probably will not do another one until we get a major area done. The area I'm working on right now is Emily's room and my room. So once I get all the wall foam in and all the ceiling foam in for the whole bedroom section, then I'll put up another video. It'll be fairly short, hopefully, and you'll be able to see the difference. So until then, be safe. God bless.